Now, page 4, pushing back on the politics of division. A majority of the American people must reject the effort to divide this republic. The modern Democrat Party is the party of division. They seek to tear us apart in order to degrade and ultimately destroy this constitutional republic, aka liberty, in order to impose their brand of socialist utopia on our civil society. Savannah, Georgia. In the race for mayor of that city, a political event was held in the mayoral race that excluded white reporters. That's right. This happened in 2019, not 1830. One race of people was denied entry into this event based on the color of their skin. Black press only. The sign on the door read, "It's outrageous, it is racist, and frankly, it's un-American." However, this is the modern Democrat Party. They have come full circle. Democrat leadership will use any and all means to achieve its ideological goals of uprooting limited government. And if allowed to proceed, the politics of division will destroy this republic. Only engaged constitutional Americans can stop it by rejecting this attempt by the modern Democrat Party to balkanize we the people. And this applies to joke and divisive pieces of legislation like the Equal Pay for Equal Work Act, which is being hawked by Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney of New York.
In 1963, Congress passed the Equal Pay for Equal Work Act, prohibiting an employer from paying men and women different wages for the same.
So, in 1963, as you pointed out, this law was passed. And the law essentially says, hey, you have to pay people equally for equal work. All right, fine. You know, it's on the books. Personally, I'm a free marketer. I almost have a libertarian streak here. Just like I believe there should be no government-mandated minimum wage. The minimum wage should be whatever the market bears. And government has no role in any of this. I believe that government has no role in this either. If an employer wants to pay a woman more than me for whatever reason, it's their reason. And if I don't like it, being that we have this thing called the free market, I can leave and I can find another line of work or another job in that line of work. But there are laws on the book. Okay, so let's stipulate that this is what the law is and we must abide by it. And it's fine. It's fine. So you have to pay equally. So if you have person A who's a man and is an accountant, and person B who is a woman and is an accountant, and they're doing basically the same job, they have to be paid somewhere in the neighborhood the same. Now, this doesn't account for differences in style. It doesn't account for different work processes. It doesn't account for the bottom line. But in general, the pay has to be pretty close according to this law. However, person A could be a better producer than person B. And of course, these are intangibles that lawyers love to parse apart, and so do lawmakers, who most of whom are lawyers anyway. Roll tape.
Work. It helped, but 56 years later, the typical woman working full-time year-round is still only paid 80 cents for every dollar paid to her male co-worker.
Stop tape. See, this is a real disservice. And mind you, I have a daughter, a young millennial daughter who's out there in the workplace, and I want her to make as much as she can. But I don't use men as a yardstick for how much money she should be making. And this is completely disingenuous and refutable information that this woman is spilling out there on the floor of Congress. The 80 cents to $1 is absolute nonsense because they are comparing apples and oranges. Again, let's use the accountant analogy. You have accountant A man who stays in the workforce for 30 years, and you have accountant B, a woman who leaves the workforce for maybe 5, 10 years and then goes back into the workforce. And so what they're doing here is they're comparing the aggregate pay. The aggregate pay of accountant A, the man, versus the aggregate average pay for the accountant, the woman, B. And because she leaves the workforce, the aggregate number for accountant B is going to be smaller than accountant A. Why? Why does a woman leave the workforce? Well, we haven't figured out a way for men to have babies yet. So this is a major role in the aggregate. And these people, these lawmakers who are proffering these bills like this, are being completely disingenuous by not pointing out the truth. This is a lie that they are proffering.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.